Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Commander's Forge. My name is Andy Bentley, and the Forge is an area for me to talk about magic, Commander, and anything else while I try and drag this whole mental health thing back to where it's supposed to be. Now, I'm recording this after the second pre-release at my LGS for the Final Fantasy set. I'm playing in all three, so I've played the Two-Headed Giant Friday with my cousin. Then I did the single Saturday, and I'm recording this before I do the single best of three heads up on Sunday. Now, I do want to say I've seen a trend, and I think it's reasonable to say the best colors currently are black and red, particularly with the wizard sub theme. That was my deck Friday. I played black red and I was splashing blue for Kefka, and my cousin was playing white blue splashing green for I can't remember the name of the card. But we 4-0'd that night. And a big part of it was I was just making a bunch of those little wizards and then paying for a ton of damage on top of having Black Waltz number 3 in my deck. The event on Saturday, I went 3-1 playing a Mardu aggro deck that had a little bit of the like wizard pinging stuff with the black mage's staff and also a Black Waltz number 3. Even though it wasn't a spellslinger deck, he's still just a 2/2 with flying and death touch. So I think what I mean to say here is I feel like things are skewed pretty heavily to this being a very grindy set unless you are actively building to aggro. And it's funny because the only loss I garnered from the Saturday event was somebody playing a black red aggro deck that was doing basically the same thing I was. I was also in white because I had a sub theme of knights in my deck. My promo from yesterday was Dion Bahamut's Dominant, which is 3 and a white for a 3/3 human noble knight. During your turn, Dion and other knights you control have flying. When he enters, he makes a 2/2 knight, and then you can pay 6 and exile him and return him to the battlefield as Bahamut Warden of Light, which is one of the saga summons. So for step 2, you have Wings of Light. You put a 1/1 counter on each other creature you control. Those creatures gain flying till end of turn. And then on the third step, destroy target permanent, exile Bahamut, then return it to the battlefield front side up. So it comes back as Dion, makes another 2/2 knight. I never actually flipped him, but I had just enough random knights to make this work. So I had Albert Steiner, which is 1 and a white for a 2/1 human knight with lifelink. And he gets +1/+1 for each equipment you control. I also had Judge Magister Gabronth, which is a white and a black for a 2/2 human advisor knight with menace. And whenever another creature or artifact you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Judge Magister Gabronth. We also had Garland, Knight of Cordelia, which is a black and a red for a 3/2 human knight that has, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Surveil 1. And then it has an activated ability for 3 black, black, red, red. Return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield transformed, only as a sorcery. And it returns as Chaos the Endless. So it's a demon that is flying. It's a 5/5, and whenever it dies, you put it on the bottom of its owner's library, re flipped back into Garland. We also had Paladin Arms, which is 2 and a white for one of the equipment that makes the hero with job select, but the equipped creature gets +2/+1, has ward 1, and is a knight in addition to its other types. We have the Dark Knight's Greatsword, which is 2 and a black for an equipment, also has the job select. The equipped creature gets +3/+0 and is a knight in addition to its other types. And then I had Cecil the Dark Knight, which is a single black for a 2/3 human knight with death touch, and then the ability of darkness. So whenever Cecil deals damage, you lose that much life. Then if your life total is less than or equal to half your starting life total, untap Cecil and transform it. And it becomes Cecil Redeemed Paladin, which is a 4/4 human knight with lifelink and the ability Protect, so whenever Cecil attacks, other attacking creatures gain indestructible till end of turn. Now, to go with him in our little aggro deck, I'm also running the Tonberry, which is a single black for a 2/1 Salamander Horror. The creature enters tapped with a stun counter on it, and it has the ability Chef's Knife. During your turn, this creature has First Strike and Death Touch. So one of the best openers I had was Swamp Tonberry. Turn 2, play the tap black-red land, play Cecil. Turn 3, play a land, play side quest, play Blitzball, which is an enchantment that says at the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature gets +2/+0 till end of turn. And then at the end of combat, if a player was dealt 6 or more damage this turn, you transform the enchantment and attach it to a creature. So I hit Tonberry with it, making it a 4-power creature. Swung with Tonberry and Cecil, which did 6 damage. Flipping the play Blitzball into World Champion Celestial Weapon. So it has double overdrive. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has double strike. Equips for 3. But this does attach once it transforms. It does that itself. So I just put it on the Tonberry. So yeah, that kind of is where I left off with pre-release. Like I said, between Friday and Saturday, I won 7 of my 8 rounds, and I don't know how I'm gonna do on Sunday, but we're gonna go back and we're gonna try. Mostly because I can't really afford a whole lot of this set, with it being a freaking premium standard set, which is ridiculous. I'll get into that more maybe next week, but I know collector boosters aren't necessarily geared towards players like me, but $700 for 12 packs? I'm sorry, but no. Anyway, that's where I'm going to hold off this section. When I come back, I am going to talk about a couple decks that I've thought about. Okay, a couple decks that I'm definitely going to build, and at least one more that I'm thinking about building from this set. I'll be right back. And we're back. Now, I'm going to try and keep this section relatively short because I'm just mentioning legendary creatures that I want to build decks around from Final Fantasy so far. And I'm sure this number will grow, but for now I have 3 that I want to mention. The first one is Black Waltz number 3. It's 2, a black and a red for a 2/2 wizard with flying, death touch, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, he deals 2 damage to each opponent. Both me and my cousin were like, I kind of want to build around that. And we both kind of talked about different ways of doing it, but with similar things. Like, if you give him, lifelink, he can just gain you a ton of life. If you give him something that allows him to ping creatures, he can just clear the board. So we both wanted to kind of build around that, and that's like our number one takeaway from this weekend is the pingers are very good. So yeah, like I'm gonna meet up with him again today, and I'll ask him if he's still like thinking about that. But that was one of my this is really good cards. Now the other one we both looked at and went, that's really cool, is Hope Estheim. A white and a blue for a 2/2 human wizard with lifelink. And at the beginning of your end step, each opponent mills X cards, where X is the amount of life you gain this turn. And we both looked at it and we're like, so it just kind of weaponizes your life gain, which is, something you can't always do with life gain. And I looked at it, I was like, okay, so you also pair this with, like, the Aetherwork thingamabob, so you can dome somebody if milling doesn't work on them. And then you basically just build, like, a Soul Sister shell and throw in things that, like, double your life gain or give you extra life gain. So it's a work in progress. But I had another thought, and it came from my pre-release yesterday with Dion Bahamut's Dominant, which again is 3 and a white for a 3/3 human noble knight, and during your turn, Dion and other knights have flying. And when he enters, make a 2/2 white knight creature token. You can pay the 4 white to exile him and return him as Bahamut. Has the 3-step counters. The first 2 are put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature you control. Those creatures gain flying till end of turn. And then the third one is Giga Flare, destroy target permanent, exile Bahamut, then return to the battlefield as Dion. So the thought I had for this is real stupid. It's just 30 Templar Knights. Hear me out. Templar Knights are 1 and a white for a 3/1 human knight with vigilance. You can pay a white and tap 5 untapped attacking creatures you control named Templar Knight to search your library for a legendary artifact card, put it onto the battlefield, and then shuffle. A deck can have any number of cards named Templar Knight. So this is the deck can have any number of them from the Assassin's Creed deck, or Assassin's Creed set. And I just want to rip out a Chroma's Memorial, which is, a 7-mana legendary artifact. Creatures you control have flying, first strike, vigilance, trample, haste, and protection from black and red. Or Anduril, Narsil Reforged. It's a 2-mana legendary artifact equipment. It has Ascend, equipped for 3, but whenever the equipped creature attacks, put a +1 counter on each creature you control. If you have the City's Blessing, you put 2 counters on each creature you control instead. Avacyn's Memorial, which is 5 white for a legendary artifact. It has indestructible. Other legendary permanents you control have indestructible, so just to protect your commander. We've got Bitterthorn. This is Animus, which is a 3-mana legendary artifact equipment with living weapon. Equipped creature gets +1/+1, and then whenever it attacks, you can search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped. Caduceus, the Staff of Hermes, 2 and a blue for an equipment. Equipped creature has lifelink as long as you have 30 or more life. Equipped creature gets +5, has indestructible, and prevent all damage that would be dealt to this creature. Equips for, white. We've got, the monuments. We've got Chimil, the Inner Sky. We've got the Crown of Gondor. We've got the Conformer Shuriken, Chromatic Orrery. There's just a ton of them that you could just go and put into play. Excalibur 2 from this set. Excalibur Sword of Eden from the Assassin's Creed set. It's just so stupid, and I can't wait to do it. But that said, I'm going to leave this here. It's on the shorter side, but I think that's fine because I'm running out of time. So, I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening. All of my links can be found in my link tree in the description below. I would like to thank Ian Foss and Cody Mulvey of the band The Crypt for allowing me to use music for my opening and ending, along with Nate and Erica Jacobs for making my original logo. And I would also like to thank Christina McNichol for creating my new logo. And I'll see you next time.